You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yes.
And it's time off.
Let's talk Venezuelans.
Okay, let's talk Venezuela. Hi, Mr. Moxley. Hi, Brad. How you been?
How's everybody doing?
Okay.
Doing good?
I'm doing good.
Okay, I guess I got two good news here. We're
You
gonna
got-
start with yours, yeah.
Okay.
Come
the
on.
first news is about the 1 ton seized by the U.S. Navy in the Caribbean
Okay.
on a Venezuelan vessel.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. They began the operations, and they already got 1 ton of cocaine seized in the middle of the Caribbean Sea.
No.
Okay.
From Venezuela?
Yes, and the boat is in Curaçao now. The second news has to be with an order, an executive order of President Trump that ordered Chevron to cease and desist on the operations in Venezuela.
Wait a minute. Yeah, let's go back. Wait a minute. If I'm not mistaken, 5 days ago, the Chevron, the petroleum from here, from Texas, they did. No, what happened is I come sometime on the front. Yeah, thank you. They renew contract
Yeah.
with Venezuelan like 3 or 4 days ago. And you're telling me the president now is telling them to stop?
Yes.
But he already says on the 26th of March.
Yes, I understand the point, but the thing is that they have a previous contract, and those previous contracts is the ones that have been affected. Okay.
Okay, but they
So-
renew it 3 or 4 days ago. And on the 26th of March, Trump says there's no more business, nothing, everything is stopped with Venezuela. And what happened with these companies? Why are they still doing businesses like nothing is going on between United States and Venezuela? I mean, we are talking about the oil, petrol, the petroleum, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put it in it. I'm going to put their name on it. The Bushes and the
Yeah.
Cheneys.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't understand.
Well, under the actual circumstances where the petroleum for the first time in history is in negative numbers. Do you know what it means? Negative numbers. The producers are paying the consumers
To buy.
to get out all the petroleum because it is very bad. And David is from Texas, and you know that you cannot stop a dwell of petroleum because if you do so, you lost the pressure inside of the chamber, and you lost the petroleum.
Okay.
So for the companies that produce petroleum, they have to have the pumps working. But right now they are completely full. So they want the buyers to bring the petroleum to their reserves, even if that costs their money. Okay, for the first time since we have a market on petroleum, the price of oil is negative. It's like I'm paying you to take my petroleum, to take my oil.
But hold on. But United States administration, the Trump administration, United States, let's say it's Bush administration, Clinton administration, Obama administration, when they take a decision on some country, why some companies go behind and still doing businesses? In this case, these petroleum companies.
Yeah, well, that's why the president made a cease and desist order to Chevron. Okay.
So that shows, look, what I'm saying is that shows how broken
is the system.
The system in United States among the ex-presidents, you know? It never, what is happening today, it never happened before. You never saw like a ex-president like Obama and those ex-presidents getting involved with a new administration. You see, when Obama came into administration, the Bush Jr., he was quiet. He said nothing, you know, and he let it ride. The same thing, the Clinton with the Bushes and so on and so on. But now that we have this president, these people are like, whatever you say, I'm gonna keep on doing my thing.
That's the way it is.
So it's showing the American how the hypocrisy from this.
They think that they are above the law. That's what they think.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What's the other news?
Well, unfortunately, an Esmina officer, a police officer, Mr. Christopher Ewing, 34 years old, he passed away 2 nights ago in an accident, in a car accident. A drunk driver hit him and killed him off duty. Our condolences to his family, and also our condolences to the family of Maria Pabon. She was a journalist of Colombia.
Yeah, we talked about her last time.
So okay, so that's the 4 news during this week.
During this week, well,
yes.
One of the news that is candela, how we call it in Spanish, right? Is this is on fire. It's from here, from Georgia. Is this Democrat lawmaker Vernon Jones? He's being attacked by his Democrat Party because he's supporting President Trump's agenda in favor of the black community. Okay. So he says that he's sick and tired, right? Sick and tired of being harassed and being threat. Yeah, by the Democrats because of his decision as a Democrat to support the agenda that is benefiting the people who he represents. So he's basically saying that he's putting his people, the constituent, the country before the party.
Okay.
The party, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's being beaten down. He lost his mother 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And yesterday he renounced. He resigned. He resigned to his position as a lawmaker. He won't finish until November. So he's out. What do you think about this? What's going on?
Well, the problem is that President Trump is an atypical presidency. He's a white guy who really, really fought for the civil rights of everyone. It's not only the black, it's not only the white, it's everybody. He is bringing some kind of new deal on a lot of issues, especially for the black people. Okay, He brought the what's the name of the law that he for the first offenders law. What's the name of that law?
That's First Chance Act.
First Change Act.
Uh-huh.
And also he fully pardoned a lot of people.
Yeah, he's reversing mass incarceration in blacks of blacks in America due to the policies, laws that Clinton and Biden implemented back in 1996, if I'm not mistaken. In 1994, here it is. Okay, Joe Biden and President Bill Clinton are responsible for the mass incarceration for the black community over 25 years ago. It's not that they don't supposed to pay for their crimes or the illegal actions.
Yes.
It's because of the time implemented in each one was twice compared to other people who were doing the same criminal actions. And let's say they give somebody 10 years, right? And then at the black community they were given 25 years.
25 years.
You know, it's not about not paying the time in jail. It's about the time that they designated to this community.
Of course.
So he worked. He approved President Trump reversing the mass incarceration in Africa, in America with the black. He's the president who give most money, giving most money ever to historical black colleges.
Okay.
Every year, those colleges, CEOs or deans used to go and beg for money to the presidents. He said, not anymore. You don't have to come here and beg for me every year. I'm giving you enough for 4 years. So he already give the money, max out the amount, okay? Other one decision that he implemented that is benefiting the black community is the investing in black community across America. That's what they call opportunity zones, okay? Where the is leading the way for the Trump revolution to bring real dollars back to the black inner cities across America.
Okay.
Despite the rhetoric from the left about Trump tax cuts only benefit the rich. This program can literally help correct the most underserved communities in America. And the beautiful part of this is that those people who are in charge of the opportunity zones are black.
Okay.
There's no Spanish, it's no
Hispanics,
no Hispanics is no white in charge on this zone. It's the black people who they are in charge of this. The other thing that he addressed, Mr. President, our president addressed was the health crisis for black with initiative to end the AIDS by 2030. You know, the sickness, AIDS, is very high in the black community. So he put a lot of effort into that too. And the other one is creating jobs for undeserved blacks.
Okay, we are returning right back.
The Docs for Patient Care Foundation is your way to join the fight and become a member of an organization created by doctors for patients dedicated to fighting for your healthcare freedom and preserving the doctor-patient relationship. Get a pen and paper. Write down www.docsforpatientcarefoundation.org. That's www.docsforpatientcarefoundation.org. Go to our site and please make a generous tax-deductible donation and join the fight today. Thank you.
Hey, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we have the Business Hour with Chance Ritchie, and he's got a fantastic guest. So tune in tomorrow at 10 o'clock on America's Web Radio for Chance and the Business Hour. He's bringing a whole new thing to it, and he has been in the oil business, and we will be talking to him about the oil business, among other things, and business in general. And he'll be calling in from Texas and or Michigan, one or the other. He has homes in both places. And we'll probably talk about the fact that we're both Texans and grew up with a store called Neiman Marcus, which is gone now. And they had to file bankruptcy. They just couldn't keep up with the likes of Amazon and other mail order type businesses. So The brick and mortar stores have their problems. We'll be back right after a couple of other messages. Hang in there.
You can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan, and every family will save thousands of dollars a year. I'm Ellen Deal, and if you've been hurt by the Affordable Care Act, you can email MAGA45CAG@gmail.com to see if we can help. Small business owners, individuals, families, and baby boomers, email MAGA45CAG@gmail.com for 3 easy questions to determine if you can get away from Obamacare. I'm a 20-year veteran of the insurance industry and here to help you for all your insurance needs.
And now,
so I was talking about President Trump was creating jobs for underserved blacks, and I'm going to explain you how he's creating those jobs. Well, there is a say, David, that the government don't create jobs, right? They only spend the money from the taxpayer.
Yep.
But in this case, the Second Chance Act is an initiative to incentivize American business to hire our former prison population and offer state millions of dollars to help ensure success transition post-release. Okay, and that's why when 2 months ago, Han Johnson was doing the job fair right here for people who
very hypocritical
because first of all they already have a job. When they came out from jail and pardoned by President Trump,
they already have a job.
They already are being hired. So he's just using some
it's using lies,
some imagination.
He's lying. Basically lying.
Exactly. When he voted against all that stuff. Now, so we were talking about this guy who I believe is very courageous, Vernon Jones. He says specifically, I am sick and tired of me and my family being attacked and harassed by the Democratic Party for putting my country before my party. Putting my country before my party. State Representative Vernon Jones, who is black, said, turn the light off. I have left the plantation. I intend not to complete my term effective April 22nd, 2020. However, I will remain woke and vigilant in educating and fighting for my people, he says. He is 59 years old, and he also explained why he threw his support behind President Trump. I endorse the white guy, Donald J. Trump, that left black out of jail, and they, the Democratic Party, endorsed the white guy, Joe Biden, that put blacks in jail. That's what he says.
Bingo.
So this right here is showing how many conservatives inside the Democratic Party are not only asking for help, but they are screaming for help. Because the Democratic Party today is not what it used to be
60
years ago. The Democratic Party today is being hijacked, controlled today by the Communist Party, the Islamist Party, the political Islam. Is controlled by anti-Americanism. Those people are controlling the Democratic Party. So just figure him out. Just figure this. He used to be the CEO of DeKalb County. So he went from that position to be a legislator in the House. And then he started noticing all these benefits.
In the House, though.
In the state legislation. Legislation. Okay. So he started having this information firsthand, right? And he's being elected by people. So my question is, okay, he's resigning. he said he's not going to be serving anymore. But people voted for him and put him in there. He's supposed to.
The conservatives, Democrats.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And this message is for the conservative Democrats.
Didn't he supposed to, for example, before he resigned, he's supposed to go to his constituent and talk to them and ask them what they were expecting from him?
It's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's very complicated, yes. But this message is very clear.
Mm-hmm.
The Democratic Party don't give a okay
to nobody.
To nobody, especially for the conservatives, Democrats, that they put it as the right. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so right now the people who used to be conservative Democrats are in the swinging area,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your message must be for them.
Yes.
Okay, vote for you, Johsie Cruz. Okay, that you will fight for their rights,
Mm-hmm.
and you will fight for the U.S. Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Canadian spirit. Okay, that one that says, do not ask what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Democratic Party is cracked, and it might be broken already, at least in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, look at what he says. The leaders, Trump is the right leader for our country. The country needed right
Yes,
now.
right
That's what
now,
he says.
yes.
This Democrat guy, the black guy, and also he says the left hates me because they can control me.
Mhm.
So the chairman said he doesn't represent us. Of course, he doesn't represent you, Democrats, because you are not American anymore. You are communists now.
You're
So,
globalists, yes.
you are communists. You are
Yes,
yeah.
communists.
That's everything that against us.
Mhm.
So the attack it reminds me so much of Venezuela. Now we're gonna compare what's happening with him and what happened in Venezuela, and what it continues happening in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Because when I remember when I left Venezuela in 1993.
The Democratic Party right now is like the PSUV, and he represents the mood.
The mood.
Okay, it's the right on the left.
Yeah.
But it's still the
But
left.
it's still the left because he is still promoting some socialist principles.
Mhm.
He's still promoting some things that is gonna help out, his community. But in the other hand, he's not renouncing to the Democratic Party.
But he is an honest person,
Mhm.
and that's something very bad for the Democratic Party. Very bad.
You are not there to think on your own.
No.
You are not there to even
and to
ask
be
a question.
And to be honest and said, this guy, even though is not the president elected by the Democratic Party, is doing the right thing in the right time and in the right moment. That requires a lot of courage. And when I read at the beginning of yesterday this note, I said, he might be threatened on something very, very bad to resign on something that he was elected by the people.
But we're talking about DeKalb County. You know, DeKalb County is one of the most corrupted counties here in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody who get elected to sheriff in DeKalb County end up in jail.
In the last 70 years, since 1950.
I think Pat did.
That's what they say.
That's what they said.
I attended 4 different forums for the sheriff candidates, and that's what they say. For the last 16 years, 60.
The 70s, since 1950.
All sheriff end up in jail. one way or another, because somebody died, or because corruption, or because drugs, or because dead. That guy who got elected and they killed him 3 days later.
Exactly.
Kill him in front of his house.
Yeah.
So maybe probably we have one or two they didn't go to of jail, like David says. He's gonna be doing the research now.
Yes.
He's gonna
check that
clarify.
out.
Yeah, he's gonna double check on that. But also the other what I'm trying to say with comparing with Venezuela is the same people, the same method, the same strategies apply here in the United States to Americans, infringing their First Amendment, because he has the whole right.
The Bill of Rights.
The Bill of Rights. The First Amendment says that he got the right to say,
to express
freely. Whatever freely. And they are doing, the Democratic Party are doing exactly what the communists and the socialists do in Venezuela. In Venezuela, there is no such a thing as a free expression.
Yep.
There is no such a thing as a.
They don't have the Bill of Rights.
They don't have nothing like that. So.
No.
Pat Jarvis, I don't think he wound up in jail.
So he could be one of the sections.
But that's what they said on the forums.
On the forum, they were saying
that in the last 70 years, 7 decades.
Seven decades.
Yes, since 1950, every sheriff in the Cobb County ended in jail. I don't know if Yale or Oxford or Harvard, but
but let me tell you something. This Vernon, he's like supporting he's a CEO. He has a administrator mentality. When he sees something is working, that what he said lately was, okay, we have been doing this for what? More than 10 years, and there is no changes, no differences, nothing. So let's try something different. Let's try Trump now this time, and look how he got beat up,
Yep.
And that is exactly what's happening in.
Yeah, because I think they have the mindset of Machiavelli. That the only important thing is to reach the power, and do not release that power, and they don't care if they are doing a good or bad government. That's irrelevant.
No, what they care is they're in control.
They are in control, exactly.
Yeah, you get in control, and you do whatever it takes for not lose that control.
And talking about that, President Trump has to stop the order that he gave to the governors that they can began to release the limitations on citizens for this crisis of the COVID-19. But during this week on North Dakota, they invade the Capitol building, while they brought some flags that says "Don't tread on me." In Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, a group of the militia with rifles, they have a meeting on Columbus this Monday, and in Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, there are a lot of people that manifest that they don't want to be at home anymore, that they prefer to begin their thing. But it's very hard to follow through all this crisis, because there are a lot of misinformation, and something is happening, because President Trump is very rare to say yes, go ahead, and after that he pulled the brakes,
Well, let's see. I think we have to wait a little bit more and see what's going on. I mean, that's rare.
Yes.
That's rare.
That's
rare.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
we're gonna go on a break.
Yes.
And then we come back in a few minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Quick steaks, that's Q-U-I-K steaks, are not just for surveyors. They are great for family and community gardens. Go online to www.quicksteak.com or contact your local land survey and supply banner and get you a box of quick steaks. You'll love them every year when you plant your garden. Again, that's quick steaks, Q-U-I-K steaks, the truly preferred way to stake and identify what's in your garden now.
Business owner, individual, family, or baby boomer, email maga45cag@gmail.com and I'll respond with 3 easy questions to help you determine if you can get away from Obamacare. As a 20-year veteran of the insurance industry, I'm here to help with all your insurance needs. Email ellendeal@maga45cag@gmail.com.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
You have to see David's face. Whoa. Okay. So this is let's talk Venezuelan.
So going back to Venezuela.
Okay.
So they are still doing the trafficking of drugs, and this time they got one vote in the seas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Maduro and his people say that is not true. They're still saying that is not true.
No, it's talc. It's talc. It's baby powder, you know.
Johnson and Johnson.
Gold bond.
It is how can I say, it's incredible, man. It's incredible to see how things are going on, and they still doing how do you say retar? Challenging, right? Challenging America, challenging they are doing this against the national security, American national security.
The thing is, basically, remember that basically the drugs smuggling that Venezuela does is aimed to the European market. Okay, and they are not doing it by boat, but by air, in small airplanes. But some of the drugs that comes to United States, I think is 12% or 17% of the whole drug that comes to United States comes through the Caribbean. After the United States destroyed the Medellin cartel and Cali cartel. Okay, and now that kind of drug smuggling is from cartels that are in Mexico. 80% of the drugs that comes to United States comes from Mexico, from cartels from Mexico. Okay, but since the nephews of the President Maduro got busted in Dominican Republic trying to sell drugs to an agent of the DEA, and they are condemned to 17 years in jail, 10 of them mandatory. I think they brought the whole operation on the cartel of the Soles, the generals that control the drug smuggling from the Venezuelan army to either the American market or the European market. And at the time that they conspired against the United States to bring drugs, the jurisdiction of the United States applies. Okay? And remember what I told you, what the Carlos Leathers once said, that the cocaine and marijuana, they are the atomic bombs against the United States. That's why the drug smuggling changed from just a smuggling of another product to a security issue to the United States of America. And let me tell you, I don't know what will be the next step of President Trump, but there is already a task force in the Caribbean against any ship or airplane that passed through Venezuela or began their operation in Venezuela through the Caribbean. And what happens during this week with this Venezuelan ship says that they already moved the thing one notch. Okay. I don't know if they want to invade or they want just to create a situation where every cash flow coming from the drug smuggling operation is over for the Venezuelan government. As soon as the Venezuelan government lost the cash flow from the drugs, I think it's game over. But you never know. You never know. Okay, because when you have almost 4,000 miles in borders, as Venezuela have with 3 countries, it's very hard to control that part. Even if you close the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah, because they have limited with Colombia, Brazil in the south,
and Guyana.
And Guyana on the east.
Yes.
Yeah, Colombia is west and a little bit of the south. Yeah,
and
there is a lot of jungle.
Yes, and you have a border with a sea border with Trinidad.
Yes, you have Trinidad, which always a conflict with, Oh Lord.
But that's the situation right now in the Caribbean basin. Okay, a task force is the Navy's ships that always been around aircraft carrier, but this time they don't use the aircraft carrier. They are just using the task force. So let's see what's going on, and let's see how the all these things develops. But they are really playing hardball.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now I want to talk about how the Venezuelan opposition.
Which opposition?
Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
We can talk now about the Venezuelan opposition is being extremely loud and quietly after the 26th of March. How quiet this opposition with Guaidó. What's the other guy? El pelón, the bald head.
Oh,
Julio
Borges.
And what's the other one? Vecchio, the one who stays here. And after the president declared that Maduro's regime and Diosdado and his 14, how you call it?
Generals.
The administration specifically, the DOJ, right? Department of Justice put a price in each head.
Yes.
After they did this declaration and seeing that probably these people sooner or later they're going to end up in jail or dead. How do you see the behavior of the opposition, the so-called opposition, so-called, because
they are very conscious right now on what's going on. They need Maduro, and they need the status quo, because you know something, and we talked about this last week. If the United States put boots on the ground, that I doubt it, okay? If the United States puts boots on ground and hunt Maduro and their accomplished on this matter, the United States will impose a governor in Venezuela, and they will bring their operations, and they will be assigning some Venezuelans to the very basic level, who is in charge of electricity, who is in charge of water, who is in charge of
but not like they are used to do it.
No.
It's going to be another kind of mentality and procedure.
Absolutely. They will bring capitalism and free markets to the country. The problem, basically, is like the people that went out of they were slaves in Egypt, and you know that the people who gets into the promised land were not the people
who came out from Egypt. 40 years passed. Why? There were 40 years of continue going around and around the desert until the last generation died because of a lot of mistakes. We call it mistakes. The Bible call it sins that they commit, repeating the same behavior as a slave in a free desert.
Yes, and
which could have took them 12 weeks to get into the promised land. It took them 40 years.
Yes, but the basic thing on this is that how you can finish 80 years of socialism mentality in the Venezuelan society. It's almost impossible. So the way the mentality of the Jews coming out from 400 years of slavery, right? Come out of Egypt to go to a free land, which is the promised land. They have to be 40 years around to dismantle the 400 years.
The 400 years of slavery, of socialism, of communism, of dependency, of being,
and I think that the United States will do the same thing as they did in Japan after World War II. Okay? They brought capitalism, they brought work ethics, okay, and they brought a different way to to see the world. And in Venezuela, the problem is 80 years of socialism. Chavez was not a cause, was a consequence on a progressive socialism into the society. Okay, for the Venezuelan society, freedom is a sin.
It's such a sad situation that you see Venezuelans here in the United States promoting Bernie Sanders, promoting Democrats, promoting Hillary Clinton, promoting everybody who try to implement the same ideas that destroy Venezuela, implemented here, and they don't see it. They don't see it.
No.
That's why they put their money. That's why they put the donation. That's why they promote. You know.
And we're coming back after these messages. Yes.
This is Donna Post, inviting you to listen to America's Holiday and Veggie Show right here every Saturday morning at 10 Eastern Time. Great guests, great tips, and valuable information about growing our own vegetables, fruits, and herbs. Saturday morning at 10 Eastern Time. Great guests, great tips, and
the disease of addiction is a life-altering challenge, not just for the person suffering its effects, but also for the family and friends who support and love the one caught in its grasp. What should be the course of treatment? Who is the best person to render treatment? And what is the best place to go for the care that is needed? We know that you want answers to these and many more questions. Call 770-696-9862 and speak to our representative, Atlanta Healing. Call 770-696-9862 needs of the person suffering with an addiction, or give you guidance as to where that help may be found. Information is the key, and the trained staff at AHC is here to assist. If you wish, you can also get more information on the website located at www.atlantahealingcenter.com.
Get your pen and paper ready. If there is a move in your near future, I'm here to tell you that the folks I used and will recommend is a Rain Movers. Timothy and the Methodist recently moved me, and I am and was totally satisfied with a sometimes not so fun experience moving. Call Timothy at 770-378-4708 and make it a good move and a good experience. A Rain Movers for that local or cross-country move. Timothy, Around Movers, in my opinion, are the best. That's Around Movers. Call them.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And this is Let's Talk Venezuelan. And Johsie, you said something about what's going on in Venezuela right now. Do you think that U.S. Navy and U.S. Army will put boots on ground? Or
I don't think they're gonna put boots on ground. I think they're gonna send
drones?
Drones. You know, I bought a drone this week, right? $20. The price used to be, I remember,
$1,000, $1,200.
The one that I bought, it used to be $50, $50, $60.
Now it's $20.
Coming out.
Now it's
I
$20.
bought one with $20 because it has a camera. That at least when you're doing the drum from the air, you can record the battle without no voice or any sound. Okay? $20. Okay. If I would have buy the one for $14, it's just for fun.
It's just for fun.
Yeah, exactly. And the one that the real heavy one with you know it looked like a spider. Okay, those one that cost a little more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I believe is American. We are in technology now. We are in with the cooperation with Israel, you know, and American and technology. I think our next challenge when we confront other countries is going to be using technology, you know. But we have to be very careful with universities like Harvard, like Yale, like those universities who are now in a big trouble.
Why?
With the government. Because those universities they got donation for 5 years in a row from China, and they never declare.
Oh my.
Okay? The money that they receive from China. And you know, the problem, the crisis that we are going through right now, the chaos that we're going through right now with this pandemic, it was created in China. You know, my political analysis, what I can say is, this is not an accident. For me, this is not an accident. For me, what we're going through with this sickness, with this, all the communist strategies is being implemented to refrain and restrict the citizens, the American, like never before. You know, in this country, that comes from years of planning how they could conquer us and how they can control Americans. Wow. So with these technologies, but then we have Bill Gates, in another hand, promoting vaccines like he's a doctor, you know.
Oh my!
And I mean, everything is so confusing.
Who couldn't cope with the virus on Windows?
He couldn't combat the virus in Windows. Why he doesn't go and find out Hillary Clinton lost email? He could do that, something good for the country, you know.
Yes, and
but no, now he's promoting these vaccines, and you know, when you have a vaccine. When you put the vaccine, flu vaccine, they are putting the virus in you for you to develop the immune system. Okay? That's why they want you to be healthy when they put in the vaccine. My mother have flu vaccine every November. She's putting the flu vaccine. That means she's healthy. She don't have no sickness or nothing. Okay, but if she wouldn't be sick,
her craziness is not coming from the vaccine.
So when you accept this kind of vaccines that this United Nations is promoting and all that, I don't know. For me, something fishy. I mean, something fishy about it doesn't make sense. You know, but going back to Venezuela, if something will happen in Venezuela, because our United States, the president, and not only the president, the Ministerio del Department of Justice, the DEA, all these agencies came together and decided, yes, it's time for us to take down this 14, 16 people.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do something, I don't think they're gonna be sending American anymore to lose their life. Look how President Trump says the one of the most difficult decision that he has to make, okay, is when he sees the family in front of him receiving their loved one in a casket. You know, and giving them the condolences and all that, and then at the beginning they're okay, but at the moment when the family seeing those caskets coming out of the plane, they run and they cry, and because it's their loved one. So President Trump never wanted United States go on war with Iraq. He never wanted to go with Afghanistan. He always opposed that when he was a regular citizen.
Yeah.
Now that he's a president, do you think that he's going to send his people to a war? No. That's why we have technology. Technology. So I put a video. I did a short video on how war is going to be done now, in the future from United States. It's drones, any different sizes, the big one who carries the medium size, and the medium size who carry the little ones, and then spread and,
the swarm, the swarm.
Okay,
like bees or like
mosquitoes. No, like a mosca, like a flies.
Like a flies.
Yeah, they go like boom, right there. And it's not gonna be. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to send Americans to lose their life and give their blood for countries that constantly they love socialism, they love communism, they love it's not worth it.
And the thing now is just a matter of U.S. security. The last order yesterday was to destroy any boat in the Persian Gulf that comes from Iran.
Any Iranian boat are bullying. They are bullying our
ships.
Go ahead, boom them out.
Yeah.
Boom. I mean, he's not playing anymore.
No.
He's not playing anymore.
The time of convince people with the peaceful ways, it's over.
No, if you notice, every time the Democrats come in power and they try to do that part that you just said, peaceful doing this. No, we're gonna give China the peaceful way. We're gonna let them come to the capitalism, getting involved in the economy. For what? To do what they're doing to us now?
Yeah.
You cannot do business with people who hate the American way of doing and believe, and it's the same thing. You cannot be sitting down with a communist or with a to do deal, because and the political Islamists, because they will say yes now. But they have an agenda, different agenda. It's never is going to be in favor of America.
I think the term political Islam is, it's redundant and it's not the way it is. The reality is the Islam, not just as a political system, but as a culture, is anti-American.
Yeah, but they're getting involved in our American system as a political Islam.
Yeah, that is,
with the long run objective to implement the Islamic way of system of living.
The Sharia law.
The Sharia law, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
it's the main thing.
Did you know that Venezuela is being now overwhelmed, invaded by Islamists from Syria, from Palestine, from from Palestinians, from Iranians, from
the largest Venezuelan population out of Venezuela is in Syria. They have a whole city, I think it's 400,000 people who lives in that city, where these Venezuelan Spanish is that they talk over there. But the thing is,
they're getting training over there.
Yes,
they're getting trained. They're getting brainwashed. They're getting
yes, and at the end of the line, Venezuela's political or experiment as a country, I think it's over. I think they lack so many things that they have to rebuild in order to be again an independent and sovereign country.
And you see the influence that Venezuela has in the Central America and South America.
Yes,
it's so much influence.
Yes,
and it's too bad that the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, and the Obama administration did not take care of this situation. Who's taking us now to this?
Yes, and I hope after all this ends, we can retake the Monroe doctrine.
Okay.
Yes, America for the Americans.
Yeah, I hope so. You have a cuatro por ahí? Please, before we leave.
Okay, it's time to leave.
It's time to leave?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll see you next week or next Thursday, if God permits, and the coronavirus still here.
In 2009, the membership organization Docs for Patient Care was founded. People all around the country wanted to participate in the efforts of this group, and they wanted to join, but they were unable to do so unless they were physicians. It's for this reason that the Docs for Patient Care Foundation was created. Now, everyone can join the fight and become a member of an organization created by doctors for patients to